men he keeps tabs on. And I'm not Victor, but I have a feeling he used that info to blackmail these same men. If we can prove it, the Assembly would have a major meltdown. Their beloved colonel, a pimp? To find evidence of his trafficking, we could look for the orders he gave his goons. Have you seen his hands? Far too immaculate to be doing this dirty work himself.
Back in my days as an officer, I ran into a band of girls, and I think this exploited girls topic may interest them. Maybe enough for them to help us.
Indeed. How's this? I've heard that a small faction of the Assembly blindly backs up Victor, no matter how crazy the project is. So I believe it almost certain that their chief of this faction was bribed. So unless we bribe him ourselves, we'll have to silence him.
Yes, we should get to the bottom of this and see if it's serum, dirty laundry, or both. Anton probably knows. And if he is openly corrupt, the opponents of the Assembly should know him well.
All these ideas will indeed cut off Victor from his support network.
But
this is going to sound self-interested, but if we could help the mutants escape from the pen, it would expedite the Colonel's downfall. The people and the Assembly would be outraged to know that after decades of civilized control, Victor was the one who couldn't keep them in check. I'd like to see the Colonel try to justify his mistake of so many slaves, particularly ones notorious for their feeble minds.
no, it's not selfish. It's a good plan. We're gonna help mutants in the pen prepare their escape. After a mass breakout like that, his reputation will never be the same. Thank you, all of you, for the ideas. Now let's make them happen.
Zachariah!
If you have a minute, can we talk?
What's this about?
Thanks to you and Scott, I got my abilities back. Doesn't make me a Technomancer though, does it? Doesn't make me one of you. And I know you all go through a lot of training together, which I never had. Everything I know was picked up from an old renegade Technomancer who showed me some of the basics. Had to trade it for a little serum. But I'm tired of being on the outside. I just want to belong. If you, I guess, think I'm worthy or whatever.
You're right, Andrew. Maybe it is time to initiate you.
How painful is it?
Guess you'll see. They obviously can't use the old sight anymore, so you'll need some imagination. We can give it a go. Come on.
Greetings, Zachariah.
Rumor is Aurora's dowser was deposed. I need to know it's more than rumor, though. If it's true, we might be able to convince some members of the Assembly that Victor needs to go.
Even though I don't like the idea of continuing the conflict between Abundance and Aurora that has caused so much suffering, if it's what needs to be done to dethrone Victor, I have a few contacts among Aurora's Technomancers. They're not quite brothers, but they're at least like cousins, and I've heard their messengers nearly always follow one particular shadow path. Let me show you. This one here. If you go, you may be able to stop one of their couriers. If the news you're expecting is as important as you say, I'm sure it will be in the documents they are carrying.
Thanks, Melvin.
Zachariah, I've received a message from Dandolo. He has some information on the disappearance of patients.
Really? Did he learn where he was taken?
The ASC had him locked up in an old dome near Ophir. In his message, he says that it's a dome that Technomancers used to use. Does this sound familiar to you?
Hard to forget. Yes. That's where initiations would take place before a mantis destroyed everything. We'll have to go free him. The place must be teeming with soldiers fighting for Victor. But we can't leave the old Technomancer in their hands. Is something bothering you?
How could you, Zack? An alliance with the largest criminal organization on the planet? What were you thinking? Can't you see they're using you? They'll use your connections to leapfrog to the top of the corporate food chain, and then nobody will be able to stop them.
So you're hoping I fail?
Let's not play that game. You know I want the best for you. But I can't bring myself to work for those crooks. I'm sorry, Zack, but you'll have to go on without me. I think I'll stay in Mutant Valley for a bit, but if you ever need anything but this, come find me. I'll always have your back, Zack. It's just, if I did this, I could never forgive myself for letting the Vori run rampant.
I understand, Nisha. See you later then, baby. Square one.
Damn, that's weird. But I thought the dome was in ruins. So then, where'd they put that old geezer?
There should be a few standing structures next to the ones that collapsed. Unless they've already started clearing the rubble.
That sounds like bad news.
It would be. There were secrets in those ruins. I would rather have stayed buried. Especially from the ASC.
That's the problem with secrets. All that time spent worrying about someone finding out, it's a burden that turns into a habit, that turns into obsession. I know you're just as scared about what's in the dome as what patience might reveal. I just hope the old man's still holding on. He's as stubborn as an unfed ostrich. But I don't know if it'll be enough in the hands of the ASC.
These thugs, more like cavemen with bigger sticks, don't understand respect, science, age, or knowledge. Any problem they can't solve, they'll use torture. What's 2 plus 2? I don't know. Let's torture the mathematician and find out. Ugly brutes. If they take power in abundance, they'll turn it into a Darwinistic jungle. A whole group of psychopaths, wanting to take control of everything through mindless violence.
Sounds like this story hits close to home.
It's true. I understand what that poor Technomancer must be going through. The pain. So, I hope we find him soon.
We'll have to be careful. The place must be teeming with troops. And as much as I believe in the honest run and gun, if they hold patients hostage, our rescue plans might have to be a bit more sophisticated.
You're right.
This is where you were initiated.
Yeah, but the dome was in better condition. The ASC weren't here. There was a giant mantis, though.
A giant mantis? Don't tell me that was part of the initiation.
No, the area had decoys dressed as thieves. The monsters were unplanned. Well, I learned a lot from the experience. If it weren't for my master, I would have died down there.
Must be strange coming back. All the memories.
Yeah! Huh?